Welcome back everyone. Time to do another comparison this time around between the Samsung Galaxy S20, the older one, versus the newly released Samsung Galaxy Note 20. So as you can see, these two phones are pretty big. They're the behemoths of their time. The S20 obviously isn't big in size, but in terms of what it brought to the table, I think the S20 is a tremendous device and the Note 20 is a little bit weirder. So in the brand new market pricing wise, the Note 20 and the S20 are around the same price. They're $1,000. However, the S20 has been out for a little bit longer, and because of that, a humongous advantage for picking up a Samsung Galaxy S20 is that it's actually depreciated. You can pick one of these up for around like $680. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20, though, hasn't depreciated yet, but best believe in like 2 months it's going to go down to like half its price probably. But I'll go ahead and leave both of these linked down in the description for the cheapest prices I find on Amazon, so you can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, comparing the sizes real quick, this is what's very important. You can see that, the S20 is smaller in pretty much every dimension. The Note 20 is much larger, as you can see, in pretty much every single way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's worse or that it's bad or anything like that. Some people do prefer a bigger phone. When I hold both in the phone, one doesn't necessarily feel way bigger, actually, which is really surprising. But I can definitely tell that the Note 20 is a little bit more top heavy than the S20. I feel like the S20 is easier to grip in the hand. The Note 20, not so much. Now looking on the front panels of both of them, I'll start off with the Galaxy S20. We have a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display on this phone, and it's a pretty good looking panel. Now I'm going to turn the ISO up a little bit. And overall, I think this panel is a very good, crisp panel. I mean, it doesn't really get too much better than this. You have very little bezel around the whole entire display of this phone, but on top of that, you have a hole punch display, which is extremely cool. That's something that, a lot of phones are starting to bring, for sure, slowly and slowly, but the Galaxy S20 looks very good, and Samsung definitely makes some of the best panels, and it's a 1440p panel. It looks very sharp and everything. The best part about it, though, is that it does have that 120Hz refresh rate, which is extremely cool. That is something that the Note 20 does not have, and one of its biggest downsides for sure, which I really don't know why they did that. I mean, both these phones are the same price, but not only did they skimp out on that, they skimped out on another thing too, which is very weird. But the panel on the Samsung Galaxy S20 definitely looks very good, especially compared to the Note 20s, and I think the S20 automatically wins in terms of the front because of that refresh rate. But on the Samsung Galaxy S20, on the other hand, we have a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display. This one is 1080p, so it's a lower resolution than the Samsung Galaxy S20, and honestly, that's kind of weird, you know what I mean? They did the same thing last year with the Note 10, and I felt like they could have done better. And this year, same exact case, I feel like Samsung could have took it up a notch, no pun intended, and put a 1440p display on this, and it's very weird that they didn't. Again, it is what it is. There's nothing we can really do about it, but I think it would have been really cool had they increased the resolution, or at the very least, added that 120Hz refresh rate on this phone as well. The S20 has it, the OnePlus 8s have it at a cheaper price tag, so it's weird that they skimped out on that on this specific device as well. So it is what it is, but that's one very weird thing about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. On the bottom, you can see USB Type-C ports on both. The Note 20 does have a S Pen though, so keep that in mind. You might like that. In terms of thickness, I definitely do think that the Galaxy S20 is the thinner one. It's definitely not, thicker. I don't know. They actually kind of seem the same, but I think the Note 20, actually, now that I look at it, yeah, the Note 20 definitely is the thicker one. It was kind of hard to tell at first, but the S20 has this kind of, bending little waterfall display on the side. It's not as noticeable as the Note 20. The Note 20 has a huge one. This one is very, kind of minimal, but the Note 20 doesn't have it. It's a completely flat display, which some people actually prefer. And on the back is one of the most controversial things about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. So on the back of the S20, we have a glass back, which feels pretty good. I definitely do think that the frosted glass backs like the Note 20 has feels pretty good. I mean, on the Note 20 Ultra, but the Note 20 has a plastic and glass mixture. It feels more like plastic in my opinion, but apparently it's a little bit of both, and that's kind of what you're working with on a Galaxy Note 20. So not only did they not add that 120Hz refresh rate on the Note 20, but they also decreased the quality of the back panel, making it plastic in a way. Now, you're still able to do wireless charging, reverse wireless charging on both, but that's a very weird thing. In terms of the design, the way they feel in the hand and everything, the Galaxy S20 definitely wins there by far. And just feeling them both in the hand, I mean, I'm rubbing them both. I don't really even notice it, how crazy it is, until I actually flip it around and use it on my back fingers, because I'm kind of used to feeling all sorts of things with my thumbs. But when I use them like this, that's kind of when I really tell the difference, which is very surprising. So I'll definitely tell you in terms of the body and the exterior, I'll give it to the Samsung Galaxy S20. The Note 20, I think it's cool and all, but the S20 definitely feels more like a flagship device at the end of the day. Now, in terms of the software, this is where things probably get even more boring. They're both going to be getting about the same exact versions of software. So one isn't necessarily going to be outlasting the other by any bit. They're both going to be stuck on One UI 2, which some people might prefer. I personally don't. I like stock Android, but you can always throw a launcher on both of these and kind of be set in that sense. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. They're both going to be getting probably the same date of software release as well. So as soon as Android 11 comes out in a beta form, both of these are going to get it probably at the same time as well. So these two are the latest phones. They're going to be lasting for quite a bit of time. So in terms of software, that pretty much covers it up as well. Now hitting on the performance, and I'll go and do a speed test for you guys too. It's probably going to be a quick one, but we'll just see how it goes. They both have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865, but the Note 20 does have the 865 Plus. Both have octa-core CPUs, both have Adreno 650 GPUs, and both have 8 gigs of RAM. However, there's only one storage model of the Note 20, the 256 gig model, with no memory card expansion, where there's also a one storage unit on the S20, the 128 gig model, but there's microSD card slot support. So again, a huge advantage for the S20. The Note 20 doesn't have that capability, but let's go ahead and see which one is the faster one. If I had to say, I'm going to be totally wrong. I feel like the S20 is going to be faster, or maybe the Note 20, I don't know. But we'll go and see which one's the faster one. Okay, now that we're back, let me go and clear out all these apps in the background. Now let's go and load up the Play Store. 3, 2, 1. The Note 20 was definitely faster there. Scrolling through. Now I do have the 120 Hz enabled on the S20, and I can definitely tell you it does look really good. Scrolling speeds kind of look the same on both. Now I'll go and load up my own website, so let's see how it goes. 3, 2, 1. And both of them kind of loaded the same. I actually don't know which one was faster. Maybe the Note 20, maybe the S20 actually, I think loaded up the image faster, so who knows, maybe that one was pretty close. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. About the same. Messages 3, 2, 1. I think this one was actually faster, the S20. Camera 3, 2, 1. Okay, I don't really know what to say. And let's go ahead and load up these third-party apps. Facebook 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a pop-up there, really annoying. Okay, forget it. Instagram 3, 2, 1. Okay. Snake versus Blocks 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's get into some gameplay, and they're both going to be about the same. I mean, it's a pretty basic game. We can do the original Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. I would probably have to restart this one though. And yep, Temple Run again, 3, 2, 1. And it might actually be looking like the S20 may be the faster one now, but I'll probably end up being completely wrong. And the S20 was just a little bit faster there. Getting into some gameplay, a very basic game. This isn't going to tell us anything, but if one does stutter, that'd be really surprising, and it doesn't really look like it. Crossy Road, 3, 2, 1. I think we're going to get a pop-up here. And yep, that one would have been close either way. It's a very, very basic game. Let's get into some gameplay, see if they glitch up at all. And I don't think they are. It's a pretty basic game overall. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's the hardest thing to play both of these at the same time. We can do stack, 3, 2, 1. Okay, a little bit of a pop-up here, kind of annoying. Bofa, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the S20 was slightly faster there, but they were both very close. Let's go and end it off with the Real Racing 3. 3, 2, 1. And they both kind of opened evenly. It looks like the S20 again may actually be a little bit faster this time. And as you can see, we got into this specific panel faster, and the Note 20 was able to get into that, or officially load into the game like a second after. So very close here too. So what I can tell you about the performance, and I'll actually go back and load up, they both have the same amount of RAM. So let me go back into the first app that we tried. Let's do the Play Store, 3, 2, 1. And you can actually see that the S20 restarted where the Note 20 did not restart. So that's a very, very important thing to keep in mind. Let's do my website, 3, 2, 1. And they both kind of were the same, but the S20 was able to load into it faster eventually. Let's do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. Both restarted, but the S20 was able to get into it faster. So I think maybe the better performing phone It's like split 50-50. Sometimes the Note 20 had advantage, sometimes the S20 had the advantage. I'll let you guys kind of be the judge though and kind of go from there. So you can kind of view the video and go from there and make an opinion. But I don't know, it's pretty split between these two to be honest. Now that kind of covers up the speed performance segment. Let's go ahead and talk about the cameras. Now I will do a full camera comparison at some point, so keep it locked down on this channel whenever I do it on the main channel. I don't know what channel I'm gonna post this on. Now both of these have triple camera setups on the back. On the Note 20, you have a 12 megapixel wide angle lens, 64 megapixel telephoto lens, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. And you have the same exact setup on the S20 as well. A 12 megapixel wide angle lens, 64 megapixel telephoto lens, and 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. And you can definitely see that the UIs of the cameras are almost identical. There's very little differences between these two. They both can do 4K 60 and they both can shoot 8K video as well. So that's a humongous advantage for both. But definitely when it comes down to it, the UI is almost identically the same. And as you can see, they have almost exactly the same exact features within them as well. It's like the exact same camera. The S20's photos always looked really good whenever I took a single photo on them. They looked really good. You're able to zoom in as much as you want to. You're able to zoom out as much as you want to as well. Now this is obviously really bad lighting. It doesn't look the best here, but outdoor photos, anytime I took any photos on it, it looked really good. Same exact thing for the videos. They look really good as well. And I can say that exact same thing for the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 as well. Very good camera. Anytime I did anything with this phone, so far from the first day I've been using it, I've been able to handle all the photos and everything perfectly fine. Like I said, I think it's almost exactly the same thing as the S20's camera, but I will eventually do a full comparison at some point. But so far, I mean, like I said, as you can see from these cameras and from the UI itself, almost identically the same exact lens and all that stuff. So in terms of cameras, I think it's going to be a tie, but I'll do a full comparison at some point. Now ending it off with the battery life, you have pretty different sized batteries on both, but not really. You have a 4,000 mAh battery on the S20 and a 4,300 mAh battery on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. And definitely when it comes down to it, you're probably going to get better battery life from the Note 20. It has a bigger battery, but also a lower resolution screen. But on top of that, it doesn't have any, 120 Hz refresh rate it has to power either. So that definitely takes a toll on the battery. So for sure, the Note 20 will probably end up winning when it comes down to the battery department. So which phone should you get? If you're going to have to buy these brand new, I would not recommend buying the S20 brand new. Get it on Amazon and save a bunch of money. But if you had to, which one should you get? I'll be completely honest. I think the Galaxy S20 is probably the better way to go. You're getting great build quality. I like the size of this phone. I think it's great. You're getting a micro SD card slot. And you're getting, almost the exact same thing you're getting on the Note 20. You're just not getting the S Pen and a bigger display. But you're getting a lower resolution display, a weird back that's not glass and it's not plastic. Good build quality for the most part, great performance, but I still think the Galaxy S20 may be the better one between these two. So that pretty much covers it up for the most part. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.